What's up, peeps? We're here for another week, and the results of this week, drum roll, you're gonna find out at the end of the video.
Got it!
So I hope you guys enjoy, and this trading week has been pretty good. As soon as August began, started switching up. So you're just gonna see what I've done this week. If I was profitable, if I was in drawdown, if I was at break even. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you do, hit that like and subscribe, because I'm not going to stop till I get to the top. You know how it is. Let's get to the video. Monday, the start of the week. Why did I take this buy? Did I actually get out with profits? What happened? In this situation, guys, I actually made no money today. The reason why I made no money today is because I essentially brought my stop loss to break even, and when price was trailing up, when I was sleeping, when it hit 1 a.m., price started trailing all the way back down to grab more liquidity to continue pushing up, but first ranging once again. And during this time when price came back to grab liquidity, it just nicked me out. Just nicked me out and practically stopping me out for break even, getting no profits from this, although price continued to go to the upside. So I had the right bias. What do I mean by bias? My bias was that price needed to touch the monthly open price, which is this red line you see clearly right here. Clearly right here, this red line. The reason why price needs to touch this monthly open price is because during this whole month, price has not touched that red monthly open price. The reason why price was traveling down was because the bias in this situation was price needed to touch the previous last monthly open price, which was this previous red area right here. And price came close enough to consider it to be touched, even though it never was. But sometimes that's what happens when you be trading in Forex. Price already considers it touched on another platform, not really platform, another system you can call it, as I'm using Oanda. There's also MyForex, I'm pretty sure. There's all these other different types of GBP USD, which I think handle the market differently. I don't know what the fuck it is, but the point is, when price comes close enough to a certain area, which is not necessarily the liquidity areas, but mostly the monthly open prices and all those sort of stuff, like the weekly open prices, if it comes close enough and it starts rejecting, you can consider that being touched, because on another GBP USD trading screen, whatever it's called, GBP USD, MyForex, whatever, it's probably touching it. So that's the reason why I consider it to be touched. No diddy. And yeah, price just after touching my stop loss continued to go up and actually touched the monthly open price the next day. So what I could have learned in this situation, guys, is really just to probably have my stop loss below the liquidity area, or just to have it in a better area, or just to figure out where I can adjust my stop loss so that it gives enough room for price, if it wants to trace down like it did today, to not necessarily stop me out. Or I could have also just taken out at the top liquidity, which I was planning on doing, but did I really? No, because that's just not a part of my strategy. But that's what I could have done. And I completely forgot, guys, this is actually not a 1 to 5. This was probably a something like that. Hold on, this was like a 1 to 3. It would have been around a 1 to 3. But price presented me with really good opportunities this week. And coming to Tuesday, we can clearly see I was actually waiting on a buy here, which I'll quickly put out the retracement once again, because you can clearly see it's in an uptrend now. It's just continuing to go higher and higher. What I was waiting for in this situation, guys, is I was waiting for price to come down to this area, because I wanted it to grab all this little chunky bits of 5-minute liquidities, so that once it did, it gave me a better reason to actually take that buy instead of just taking a buy here, because price just grabbed its previous 5-minute liquidity it made like an hour ago. So I wanted it to be in a better area, but you can clearly see when price actually started pushing up, guess what time it was? It was at 8:35. So what this displays is that around 8:35 is the best time to take a buy. Going to Wednesday, you can clearly see gave me another opportunity, and this was another retracement to take a buy on, as earlier there was news, and news pushed the price down way earlier, which was giving me the opportunity to take a buy to the daily open, which I had in mind. Did I take out? Was I here for this moment? Yes, I was here for all these moments, but I did not take out, because I wanted price, and I expected price to at least break through the monthly open price, retest it, and continue going up. But what essentially happened is, obviously when news happened, pretty big news happened, this happened. So price touched here. You think this was like a huge sharp push to the downside? No, it was very slow. Price touched here, pushed down a little bit, pushed back a bit higher, And then when I went to sleep, you can clearly see that whole 5-minute candle, it just started pushing down. It wasn't as fast as you would expect it to with the news behind it, although that's what happened in 5 minutes. So a lesson to learn in this situation really is just to probably just take out this profits, because if I would have taken out the profit at the previous liquidity area and this profit at the daily open, I would have been up for the week. But what happened? Was I down or was I up for the rest of the week? Let's just see. So for this, guys, that's what the lesson I could have learned. The reason why I took this buy is because price deviated one way. I had a buy bias, and it was also retracement to the 61.80% retracement, while also grabbing all the 5-minute liquidity, giving it no reason to essentially continue going down, which later on it did, but it also gave me the reason to actually come up, which it did. So what I could have done here is probably just taken out my profits, because there was a monthly open price right there, which was very strong, the most recent monthly open price, which I could have considered. Price could have rejected off there with more force than a normal monthly open price. That's why I can apply for the next trade that I take coming this week if price continues to push up. Thursday was a bit off because I was expecting to take a buy somewhere here. Price never got to that area, so I just didn't take a trade. And this was really hard for me because I really wanted to take that trade, yet price didn't actually come down for it. And you clearly see when news happened, price came down and grabbed all that bitch. Was I here for this buy? No, I was sleeping because it's at 11:10. But you can clearly see I had the right bias. This price did what I wanted, but not to the point of what I wanted it to do. Which in this case, obviously you see price just continuing to trail up. So now price is now above the monthly open price, which I was expecting it to do 2 days ago. And that's why I didn't take no trade today, because even though price was giving me the opportunity to take a sell, I knew from Friday's reactions that Fridays don't like going with my strategy necessarily. They like going with the bias, if that makes sense. So usually I take buys at 5:30. In this situation, when it was 5:30, which was around right here, price didn't retrace further enough for me to take that buy, which I was pretty annoyed at, but I just was more patient and more patient. And then in this situation, I was thinking of taking a sell because price did not retrace back to the daily open. But I knew from just looking at this, and especially it being Friday, that it may not want to come back, which in this situation it didn't, and it actually deviated 71%. So that is the end of this trading week, where I saved a lot of money and it ended up in break even. And what I could have done this week was probably make a shit ton of money, but I chose to essentially hold. I chose to hold. Something that everyone suffers with, I do not necessarily suffer with, because probably I'm just more greedy. So probably greed is my problem. The lesson I could learn from this week is probably take out at certain areas of direction, if just to stay afloat. That could be it. Not too sure. Only let the trades go if I am asleep. And then fixing my stop losses. Figure out how to fix your stop loss, go over that, and probably have like a 3-pip stop loss below the trading area where I took my first trade. You know where I took my first trade, which I'll go back real quick. Where I took my first trade here, what I could have done in this situation, what I'm talking about is, see the stop loss right here where I brought it to break even? I should have actually probably gave it like 3 pips of breathing room, something like that, or 2 pips, which it seems like that's all it needed, but from the 5-minute liquidity that is present. So from here, 3.5 pips of space would have been more than enough for me to still be in this trade, and would have taken all this if I was to hold, which I probably would have taken out somewhere here. So from this trade, if I was to hold all the way and it wouldn't have been stopped out, I would have had something like a 1 to 4, which is 1 to 4, almost a 1 to 5, 1 to 4.7. So if you guys enjoyed this video, hit that like and subscribe. At the end of the week, I ended up with break even, which is good, because considering that I could have lost this week, but I controlled myself and I decided to take the trades that looked presentable to me and gave me the best risk to reward, and with the bias, most importantly, which I was suffering with for the past few months. And I took that to the chin, I think in July or June, one of them. So I hope you guys enjoy this, and I'll catch you all for tomorrow.